Watchers, welcome back. You've come through that portal, and it is time for another retro rewatch. Again, we have another mail day today, and we actually have a pretty good number of them. So I think I'm just going to hop right into it. I actually have opened these five packages that I've got. Now, I haven't actually looked in them, but because I had five packages and I didn't know how long this would take to get through, I did go ahead and open the package. So we will start with a package from Amazon. Let's see what we have in here. Oh, okay. So here recently, James Cameron has had a bunch of movies come out in 4K. You had Aliens, you had True Lies, and you had The Abyss, and they came out to some mixed reviews for their transfers. Some people did not like the transfers because they felt like it took out too much of the grain and it made people look kind of plasticky. Um, I don't agree with that personally, but then you had other people that are on my side of the spectrum where they appreciated how fine it looked and how really how detailed it was. In a lot of ways, I felt like it was pretty much reference. Well, he just had another one come out, which is the Terminator, and that's what this is. So I haven't read anything about the transfer yet. I'm hoping it's going to be good. We'll see. We'll see which side of the spectrum it falls on. If I were to guess, based off Terminator 2 through now, I'm gambling it's probably going to have a fair amount of grain removed, and it's probably going to be have a lot of edge definition, stuff like that. Just recently too, there was a fan edit of the movie that I found that I'm really interested in watching, where they actually put the deleted scenes back in, and I'm pretty sure. Yeah, this has seven deleted scenes on it, and I'm sure it includes a deleted scene where I think the character's name was Trexler begins to believe Reese that maybe he's telling the truth, which I always like that deleted scene. And then there's another one where they have an alternate ending where it actually kind of shows Cyberdyne coming in and how they got the arm and how they got the chip that you see later on in Terminator 2. And it's really, really interesting. It's really, really cool to know and see that James Cameron was already thinking towards T2, that it wasn't just a retcon. It wasn't just something that he did as an add on. It was something that he intended. And he not only intended it, but he actually did shoot with the intention of that being something that mattered down the road. All right, let's move on to the next one. I think we've got another Amazon package here. Let's see. All right. So what we've got here is the Criterion collection of Scarface, and sounds like we got a loose disc in there. So I do have a knife here just in case I needed it. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna pop this thing open. This is both the 4K UHD and Blu-ray. So I actually know very little about this movie. I know that Howard Hawks directed the movie and Howard Hughes produced the movie. And of course, Howard Hughes, is the man that the movie The Aviator with Leo DiCaprio, Martin Scorsese movie, was based upon. But with Scarface, I just recently watched The Untouchables again with my wife. She saw it for the first time. And I was really just kind of looking for some more films kind of in that general vein. And from what I understand, this is a movie that is about Al Capone, although because at the time when it was made, he was still alive. He was still kind of, I don't know if he was still in Alcatraz or if he was going through trial or what, but there were actual like mafia heavies that were trying to squelch the movie based on the content and it being about Al Capone. And I also know that there was real live ammunition used in this thing during the shootout scenes, and there was at least one person that lost an eye from shrapnel that was from the bullet ricochets. All right, let's move on to the next one. All right, this is going to be interesting. So this is a German release of a movie related to a video that we did recently. Recently, we talked about Late Night with the Devil, and we talked about, I believe, Cairns, something like that. There's actually a sticker over it where I can't see. Is the directors, I think it's a couple brothers that made Late Night with the Devil. And we talked about not really knowing about some of the early movies that they made. And so, anyway, so I got the German release of Scare Campaign because that's the only way I could get it on official Blu-ray. And I just kind of wanted to see more by the directors. I just wanted to see if they had done anything else of any note. And this was one that had fairly decent reviews. And so that's the basic gist of it. I look forward to watching this and seeing what it's about. I don't know what it's about. I don't know If it's, I don't know if it's a slasher. I don't know if it's an anthology movie. I have no clue. So this will be real fun to jump into and see what we got going on here. All right, moving on to the next one. Let's see what we got here. Oh my gosh, this thing's huge. Okay, so talking about German releases, this is the 6 disc limited edition release of The Frighteners by Peter Jackson. This is also a German release. It was released by Turbine and it is a 4K. Wow, look at this thing. All right, so we have some cards in here. This is one that I actually bought used because you can't buy them from Turbine new. This is one that I actually found stateside. Looks like there's some posters in here, a couple of them. There is a very large size book in here. The Fairwater Gazette. Let's see. I wonder if this is actually in German or if it's got any English. Man, that's so sad. So this is a huge book and it is definitely all in German. So I guess that's not going to mean much to me at the end of the day. My mother-in-law is 100% full German. I don't know. Maybe I can go over there for story time someday. She can do some translations for me. But what's neat about this, so this is a 6 disc set of the Frighteners, and what you've got is you have the original theatrical cut, you have the director's cut, and then you also have kind of like an IMAX open matte cut. I do not know off the top of my head if it's the theatrical cut or the director's cut. I'd kind of hope it's the director's cut, but you have a 4K and a Blu-ray of each of those versions of the film. Plus, you have bonus material in both formats as well. I mean, this is a jam up and jelly tight release here. Man, this thing looks great. Look at the art on this thing. And this is almost something that I could have done on the Magical Movie Memorabilia Tour. But I guess this will be as good as anything. We can just kind of slow down and bask in the beauty of this release. This box is huge. This thing is actually wider than your average Blu-ray. All of these are wider than your average Blu-ray. Otherwise, I'd pick that up and show you. But I'm very excited for this. I actually had a copy of this on a HD DVD and DVD, and I haven't seen it since HD DVD. Um, so the the open matte IMAX version is actually the director's cut. So score. How about that? That's cool as crap. So anyway, but I haven't seen this since then. And of course, Peter Jackson's going on to do like the Lord of the Rings and things like that. He's a very fantastic director and The Hobbit. So I'm very much looking forward to being able to go back and watch this film. I'm just going to go ahead and set this to the side and I'll put it back together later. We'll go ahead and we'll move on to the last box, which is a big box, and it should be from Australia. So it's going to be more Umbrella. And for anybody that has watched the channel, y'all know how I love my Umbrella releases. Okay, so there's a bunch here. I don't know what all is here, but there is a bunch here. Got a stack. You hear the crinkle in the microphone? All right. So the first thing we have is Chaser. And this looks to be the limited edition version with the slipcase, which is actually kind of ironic and funny. I don't know where they found this because this set of movies should have shipped to me in September. I'm recording this in late November. So it took that long for them to ship what should have shipped in September. And one of the reasons why was this movie and this movie too. Both of them supposedly they couldn't find the limited edition versions, and so they were going to have to send me some regular versions. So I don't know where they actually found some limited edition versions. I don't know if they ran them for me because it was such a problem, but I bet I went back and forth with them over a dozen times trying to figure out where these movies were, why they hadn't shipped. I had stuff that shipped in October like it was supposed to, November like it was supposed to, and yet my September order hadn't shipped. So Chaser is a Korean movie, if I'm not mistaken, that sounds really interesting. I don't know a whole lot about it other than the fact that it is about a disgraced police officer that has a small harem of prostitutes, that one of them goes missing and he's got to go on a quest, we'll call it, to go find the woman before it's too late. That's it. That's all I really know. You'll Never Find Me. All right, this again, this is another one of the limited edition with the slipcover, and there should be a book in there as well, as well as the slipcover that's on it. This is actually a Shudder movie. That this is the only official release that I'm aware of. And what the basic gist of this is there is a massive, massive storm that brews, and you've got this male character here who lives in a trailer park, and during the storm that's raging, he is visited by this woman who is a young woman. And throughout the movie, there is a play on reality where the woman doesn't really understand or know who or what this guy is. It's kind of weird. And then he is also questioning his reality about what's actually real and what isn't. So I'm kind of curious to watch that and see if it's good or not. It has some fairly mixed reviews. All right, so here's another movie. This is an Australian movie called The Tunnel. And what the setup of this movie is there is a documentary crew or a news crew. It's a found footage movie that has uncovered a government cover up, and they are investigating that cover up. And they go into these tunnels that are underneath Sydney, I believe, and whilst in the tunnel shooting the documentary, what they are hunting for, they begin to realize is actually hunting them. Again, that is another one that I am very excited to see. I think you might be able to watch that on Shutter as well, albeit it was actually an Australian movie. All right, then we've got another movie that has the limited edition slipcover and book, and it's Them. This is a movie from 2006, 2007. I believe it may be Swedish. Don't quote me on that, but it is basically a home invasion type movie, where you've got a couple that are vacationing, and or I don't think they're vacationing. It may just be their home that's in a secluded area, and they have some unwanted guests that visit them in the night. Oh, hold on a second. Oh, each of these things are numbered. So wow. So for them, there are 1,600 copies of it, and this is number 33 of 1,600. That may be my lowest number of anything ever. I'm not sure about that. For You'll Never Find Me, it's 274 of 300. So that's almost the final of the run. And then for Chaser, 2,000. Wow, so there's a bunch of those. This is 337 of 2,000. So let's move on. So, all right, so we got another limited edition version that has the slipcover and the booklet, and it's for the Demon Disorder. I know nothing about this movie. All I know about this movie is I have a client who contacted me, and he knows that I like horror films, and he knows that I really liked Where Evil Lurks or When Evil Lurks. And so he made mention that he saw a trailer for this movie and thought that it looked very, very, very similar. And so he just recommended, that I check it out. And this was the only way I could get a legitimate copy of it. And this is number 58 of 500. So again, a pretty low number. That's pretty cool. But I very much look forward to watching this as well. All right. Then next we have Mad Heidi. If you can see that there, it's very reflective. All right. So this movie here, I haven't seen it. If you can't tell, there's a whole lot of these movies I haven't seen. So this movie looks so crazy. Like if you go and watch a trailer for it, it looks like they took the movie Heidi and made it a grown woman, kind of like I don't know. I'm trying to think of how to describe it, but like she's just in the Swiss Alps, and it's like they combined it with a Quentin Tarantino movie that is a grindhouse 70s kind of flick. And Heidi is kidnapped, and she's got to fight these machines and fascists, and all their machines are driven by cheese. I don't know. It sounds crazy. It looks wild. I don't know. It may wind up being junk. It may wind up being good. I have no idea, but it looked interesting enough from the trailer that I was wanting to give it a try. And then lastly, we've got one more here. I'm gonna see if I can pop it open because it's got a whole lot of shrink wrap around it. It's just this one movie. And this is Ixe, Goodnight Mommy, which is a German film. And this is the limited edition version. So they made 1,000 of these, and this is number 274. So what this is it is a German film where these two brothers have a mother who has either been in an accident or a surgery or something along those lines, where she is covered like head to toe in bandages like a mummy. And the movie is a horror film based on not really knowing what's real. Between the boys believe that the woman that has come back to them is not their mom. And there is the idea of having these children that are creating the horror of potentially matricide, killing their mother, and whether she is or isn't actually their mom, and whether she is or isn't some other entity. This actually has an American remake on Prime Video with Naomi Watts by the same title, Goodnight Mommy. It does not get anywhere near as good of reviews as this one does. So I'm really hoping that this will be a very fun and enjoyable watch. And with it being the limited edition of like the box, it comes with a couple books. It comes with some art cards, and then of course the disc. And this particular one is a Blu-ray. Some of them are 4K. This one is a Blu-ray release only. All right. Well, that is it. That got us through the mail day for today. If you're still with us, if you would, please hit that like and subscribe button. If you like this content, please let me know. If you don't like this content, please let me know. If you don't like the content, we can find something else to do. If you do like the content, I'll continue to do it as stuff comes in. We appreciate everybody watching, but at this point, we've gotten to the end of the tape, and it's time to get back to the video store. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time.